Welcome back to the deep dive. Our mission today is, well, it's pretty clear. We're taking a bit of a sledgehammer to one of the most persistent character archetypes in recent TV history. We are talking about Josh Radnor and specifically moving past that image of Ted Mosby, the eternally searching guy from How I Met Your Mother.
Right. And that 9-year run, I mean, it was huge. Absolutely. Gave him stability, visibility worldwide, no question.
Totally.
But if that's all you know about Josh Radnor, well, you're kind of missing the whole picture. The deep academic background, the philosophical side that really let him build this incredibly broad, integrated artistic career.
Exactly. He's not just Ted. He's a filmmaker who's won awards, a serious stage actor, a musician.
All at the same time, basically.
Yeah.
Which is kind of amazing.
It is. And the profile we've got today, it's like a blueprint. It shows someone who juggled 9 seasons of a massive network sitcom.
Yeah.
While also winning awards at Sundance, sharing the screen with, Al Pacino in heavy dramas, releasing albums that critics actually liked.
And constantly going back to theater. Like really demanding theater.
Right. It just sort of defies the usual Hollywood path, doesn't it?
Completely. So we're going to use this stack of info, the bio, the creative work, as our map. Trace it all back, look at the training, connect his interests to his directing, and really show you why his work as an auteur, writer, director, even lyricist, is maybe the defining thing.
Enabled by the sitcom, but definitely not defined by it.
Exactly. That's the key takeaway we're aiming for.
Okay, so let's dive in, starting right at the beginning. Because the groundwork, the stuff before Hollywood, it really tells you a lot about the artist he became. ###II. Roots, education, and early stage foundations. Right, let's set the scene. We start in the Midwest, Columbus, Ohio, actually, born July 29th, 1974. Joshua Thomas Radnor.
And the background itself is interesting. Pretty grounded professional family.
Yeah, his mom, Carol Radnor, a high school counselor. His dad, Alan Radnor, a medical malpractice lawyer.
Right, and raised in Bexley, Ohio, practicing conservative Judaism. So you have this structure, this value placed on education, on heritage, right from the start.
And the education itself was rigorous early on. It wasn't just standard schooling. He went to the Columbus Torah Academy first, which is an Orthodox Jewish day school.
Before Bexley High.
Yeah.
That's significant.
It really is. I mean, think about that kind of early focus. Scripture, cultural history, maybe even that Talmudic style of debate and interpretation.
It trains the mind in a specific way, doesn't it? For structure, for analysis. You pair that with a passion for performance later on.
And you get someone prepped for deep work. And that intensity just continued into his higher education. This is the pre-Hollywood foundation we were talking about. Really sets him apart.
Totally. Undergrad at Kenyon College. He got his Bachelor of Arts in Drama in '96.
And the key detail here, you mentioned it earlier, the Paul Newman Award.
Right. That's not just Sagel, an attaboy. Paul Newman himself was deeply committed to the craft. Getting an award in his name at a place like Kenyon, that signals real talent, real dedication, recognized early.
And he kept pushing for more training, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. He didn't just do the coursework. He spent a semester, spring '95, training at the National Theater Institute at the Eugene O'Neill Theater Center in Connecticut.
The O'Neill Center, for people listening, that's like serious theater boot camp, right?
It really is. Developing new plays, working on classical technique. It's intense.
Yeah.
Really focused, immersive stuff, not for casual dabblers.
And even that wasn't the end of the formal training. He went on to get his Master of Fine Arts.
Yep, an MFA in acting from NYU. Tisch School of the Arts, the graduate acting program, finished in '99.
Okay, let's pause on that MFA for a second, because some people might think, okay, great, more acting school. But what does a really intensive 3-year MFA from a top program like Tisch actually give someone who later becomes a writer and director?
Oh, it's everything, really. If you just jump into Hollywood, you learn on the fly. Auditioning, it can be fast, but maybe a bit shallow.
Right.
An MFA like that, it guarantees you're doing intense script breakdown, classical training, Shakespeare, Chekhov, the greats, plus dramatic theory, structure.
So the building blocks for writing and directing.
Exactly. When he starts writing his own movies, he's not guessing about 3-act structure or character arcs. He's lived inside the best plays for years. He's internalized it. That's why his films, I think, feel so thoughtful, intellectually grounded.
And mixed in with all this intense New York training, there was also this cultural side. The source mentions a 1997 Israel Experience program in Tifat with Livnat Banat.
Right. So picture this guy in the late 90s. He's bouncing between like hardcore classical stage training, the whole New York intellectual scene, and deep dives into spiritual and cultural study.
It builds this profile, right? discipline, depth, and just this hunger for learning through experience.
Yeah, it's a really stark contrast to the sort of quick, fame-focused path we sometimes see, and that discipline paid off pretty quickly on stage, even with one little bump in the road first.
Ah, yes, the classic Hollywood what if. He was actually cast as the lead in a WB show called Off Center, the character Mike Platt.
Yeah, but then recast before the pilot even aired.
Ouch. That could have derailed things early on.
Could have. But because he had that solid stage training to fall back on, the pivot was, like, immediate and pretty high profile. 2002, he makes his Broadway debut in The Graduate.
Taking over the Benjamin Braddock role from Jason Biggs.
And acting opposite Kathleen Turner and Alicia Silverstone. I mean, talk about pressure.
Seriously, baptism by fire for sure. Relying purely on that craft he honed at NYU and the O'Neill.
It proved he was ready, and then there's that little bit of foreshadowing.
Oh, I love this bit. 2004, just before HYM hit, he's doing a play called The Paris Letter.
And his co-star.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Bam. Shows you how interconnected that New York theater world is. And obviously setting up the biggest working relationship of his life. So all that groundwork, the training, the stage time, it all kind of leads him to the thing that gave him the freedom, really, the platform.
A platform being, of course, How I Met Your Mother, 9 seasons on CBS, 2005 to 2014.
And he was in every single episode, all 208 of them, as Ted Mosby.
It's worth reminding ourselves, for you listening, just how huge that show was. It wasn't just popular, it was...
The cultural touchstone, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was the anchor, right?
Oh.
The narrator, the emotional core of that group. Kobe Smulders, NPH, Jason Segel, Allison Hannigan. But that multicam sitcom style, it's a very specific kind of acting. Broad, rhythmic, precise timing. It's almost a different universe from the quiet, introspective stuff he does in his films.
And just the pace of network TV. 20-something episodes a year for almost a decade. That's a grind.
It's a machine, absolutely exhausting. But
yeah.
That stability, that steady paycheck and visibility, that's what let him take the creative risks he was taking at the same time.
Right. It was the engine, financially, for his indie film career.
And you can see how much Ted Mosby seeped into the culture. The sources mentioned he even voiced Ted in a couple of Family Guy episodes.
Oh, yeah, 2007 and 2009. So the character definitely jumped mediums.
During those 9 years, though, the public perception was pretty much locked onto that funny, romantic guy.
Yeah, perfectly summed up by that award nomination he got near the end, 2014, People's Choice Award nom for Favorite TV Bromance.
Shared with Jason Segel and Neil Patrick Harris.
Exactly, the bromance.
Which is funny, right? Because it captures how people saw him, the lovable buddy. But imagine the, mental gymnastics he must have been doing.
Totally.
On set, he's nailing punchlines for this huge comedy. And then, in his downtime, he's writing and directing these really earnest, kind of melancholy indie films.
Going from Ted Mosby's big reactions to the subtlety of, say, Sam Wexler in his first film.
That's a massive switch. It really speaks volumes about the depth of that initial training, that he could manage both.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. While everyone's watching Ted look for the mother, Radnor's quietly finding his own voice. Which brings us right to that big shift. Getting behind the camera. And proving he wasn't just an actor, but a storyteller. An architect's story, you might say.
Right. This is the part that I think really sets him apart. He didn't just, direct an episode of the sitcom for kicks. He became a legit auteur, a writer-director with a really clear, consistent voice.
And a voice that's so different from Ted Mosby.
Totally different, introspective. And the fact that he could switch from the, high-pressure, fast-paced world of network TV to the deep personal focus you need for indie filmmaking, that's remarkable.
His first film, Happy Thank You More Please, came out in 2010, smack in the middle of HYM.
Yeah, and he did it all. Wrote it, directed it, starred in it as Sam Wexler.
The triple threat.
And it wasn't just some vanity project that disappeared. It hit big on the festival circuit. Won the Audience Award at Sundance.
Which is huge. That means it connected with the actual festival goers, right? Not just critics.
Exactly. The people who seek out challenging, heartfelt indie movies, they responded to it. And it was also nominated for the Grand Jury Prize, which is the big critical nod.
So connecting with both the audience and the critics on your very first try, that's pretty massive. It signals authenticity.
And he backed it up just 2 years later, 2012, with liberal arts.
Again, wrote, directed, starred this time as Jesse Fisher, and added producer to the list. More creative control.
Right. And again, premiered at Sundance, so he's becoming this regular, respected presence there.
Let's talk about the themes in these films, because critics point out a pattern, right? What do Happy Thank You More Please and Liberal Arts tell us about his style as a director, as an auteur?
Well, they're really introspective, almost always dealing with this tension, maybe between comfort and growth, or nostalgia versus adult reality.
Mm-hmm.
They dig into stuff clearly rooted in his own background, that academic world, the appeal, maybe even the danger of looking back at college life, the struggle to find meaning once you're out of that bubble.
Like in Liberal Arts, where his character gets drawn back to his old campus.
Exactly. You can feel someone who really valued his time at Kenyon, at Tisch, grappling with what happens when the real world isn't so neatly packaged. His films are wordy, lots of dialogue, those long walking and talking scenes.
A world away from the sitcom rhythm.
Completely. More like Linklater or Woody Allen, maybe, in that conversational focus.
And that focus on character and dialogue must come straight from that theater training, right? Analyzing plays for years.
Absolutely. And liberal arts got recognition, too, especially, it seems, in the Midwest. The sources say he basically swept the Midwest Independent Film Festival in 2013.
Won Best Feature, Best Director. Nominated for Best Actor and Best Screenplay, too.
That regional validation is important. It shows he's seen as a genuine filmmaker, not just a TV star playing director. The Best Director win, especially, shows respect from his peers for his actual vision behind the camera.
And his film work isn't only those two features. He did a short film, The Negotiating Table, back in '08. Voiced a documentary character.
Yeah, The Galapagos Affair. Satan Came to Eden in 2013 and acted in other indie films like Afternoon Delight.
But looking forward, the source mentions he's set to direct something different, a sci-fi thriller, The Leaves.
Yeah, which is fascinating, right?
It's a big genre jump from introspective comedy dramas.
It really is. It makes you wonder, how does someone who specializes in these human philosophical questions apply that to sci-fi? It suggests he's still exploring, pushing boundaries, maybe tackling those same deep themes, but on a much bigger canvas.
Okay, so HIMYM ends in 2014. The big safety net is gone. And what does he do?
He makes a very deliberate shift, almost immediately. Sheds the comedy persona and dives headfirst into serious, challenging, dramatic roles. This is where you see the versatility really kick in, and maybe some professional risk, too.
Calculated risk, maybe. Using the sitcom fame to open doors into prestige TV.
Yeah, exactly. Leveraging that platform. The first big move was Mercy Street, the PBS Civil War drama.
Right, 2016 to 2017, he played Dr. Jedediah Foster, a main role for 12 episodes.
That's a huge shift. From modern sitcom banter to period language, the weight of historical drama. It requires completely different muscles as an actor.
Then came Rise in 2018, the musical series, playing Lou Mazzucchelli.
But maybe the biggest signal that he was fully committed to drama, to shedding the Ted Mosby image, was Hunters.
The Amazon Prime series.
Yeah.
Ran from 2020 to 2023.
Yep. He played Lonnie Flash, another main role, for 18 episodes, and this was a crime action series.
Acting opposite Al Pacino and Logan Lerman.
I mean, Pacino, that's not just a dramatic role. That's putting yourself in the ring with heavyweights.
Oh, yeah.
In a big-budget, high-stakes show, it forced him to stretch in ways even Mercy Street probably didn't.
It definitely signaled ambition and a commitment to quality projects. You don't end up on screen with Pacino by accident.
No, you don't. And it showed the industry he was serious about dramatic work. His choices after that really reinforced this taste for, quality ensemble stuff, especially limited series.
Fleischman is in Trouble. That's a great example. The FX on Hulu series from 2022.
Yeah, he had a recurring role as Adam, one of the friends.
And look at that cast. Jesse Eisenberg, Lizzie Kaplan, Adam Brody. Just a powerhouse group. He wasn't chasing the lead role. He was choosing to be part of something really substantive.
And Fleischman got nominated for the Emmy for Outstanding Limited Series.
Right.
So by consistently picking projects that get that kind of critical acclaim post-sitcom, he's making sure his work is judged on its artistic merit now, not just banking on past fame.
And just to show he can bounce between tones and mediums, he also did voice acting.
Right. Centaur World. That Netflix animated show, he voiced Derpleton, a main character, for 18 episodes in 2021.
So moving from intense Nazi hunting drama with Pacino to quiet relationship drama in Fleischman to whatever Centaur World is, abstract animation.
It shows he's driven by interesting creative challenges, not by trying to fit some specific marketable box.
And then circling right back to where it all started for him, essentially, the stage.
Yes, a major return in 2024. Starring as Athaf in The Ally and Itamar Moses play at the Public Theater in New York.
And that work is already getting recognized. The source mentions a pending Lucille Lortel Award nomination for outstanding lead performer in a play.
The Lortels are a big deal in the off-Broadway world. It just confirms that the foundation, the skills he built at NYU and Kenyon, they're still absolutely core to who he is as a performer. It's like this constant conversation in his career between the reach of TV and the rigor of theater.
Okay, so we've got the actor, stage and screen, comedy and drama. We've got the writer, director, producer.
A very full plate already.
Right. But then there's this whole other layer, which I think genuinely surprises people. His career as musician, a singer-songwriter.
And it's not just a side hustle. It's serious. A parallel track. Started really publicly with the duo Radnor and Lee.
With Ben Lee, the Australian musician, they made it official, formed the band around October 2016.
And the origin story is cool, too. Apparently, they had known each other for ages, like 12 or 13 years, the source says, after meeting on the HIYM set.
Wow. So that connection was brewing throughout the whole sitcom era. Another example of how those relationships fed into other creative outlets later.
Totally. And they put out albums. The first one, self-titled Radnor and Lee in 2017. Then Golden State in 2020.
And that first album, crucially, got real praise. Rolling Stone said it received widespread praise across the board.
That's a significant stamp of approval, right?
Yeah.
For any musician, let alone someone people mostly knew from TV. They had singles too, Outside In, Simple Harmony.
But he didn't stop with the duo. He launched a solo career too.
Yeah, really establishing his own sound. Debut solo EP was One More, Then I'll Let You Go, in 2021, released on Flower Moon Records.
And the descriptions of the music sound very, well, Radnor-esque, like his films, narrative, evocative.
Exactly. Rolling Stone described one single, The High Road, as a gently lilting ballad about the breakdown of a friendship.
Okay.
And they mentioned the sound. Deep textures of piano, acoustic guitar, organ, and snapping fingers.
See, deep textures, that tells you something. This isn't just like simple acoustic strumming, it's layered, produced, thoughtful songwriting.
It lines up perfectly with his directing style, doesn't it? That focus on nuanced emotion, on telling a story, rather than just, I don't know, flashy hooks. It's about craft, whatever the medium.
And he keeps putting music out consistently. Eulogy, Volume 1 in 2023, Eulogy Vol 2 just this year, 2024. He's constantly creating, often while he's also acting in these demanding series.
And here's where it all clicks together, the multidisciplinary thing. He uses his filmmaking eye for his music.
Directing music videos.
Yeah, not just for Radnor and Lee like Be Like the Being in 2017, but for other artists too. Rachel Yamagata, Cinders.
So he's a visual storyteller using music sometimes, a musical storyteller using film other times.
It's all integrated. He even collaborated on a Spanish language track with Patty Cantu, Biography, in 2020.
It really paints a picture of someone whose core identity is just creating. Across whatever medium or genre feels right for the idea, not just an actor who tried other things. #, #, personal life, philosophy, and cultural impact.
So with all this films, plays, TV, music constantly going, where does the energy, the focus come from? How does he sustain it?
The source material actually gives us a pretty clear hint. It points towards his personal philosophy, his lifestyle.
Right. Mindfulness seems key.
Yeah.
He's been practicing Transcendental Meditation, TM, since at least 2008.
And it's not just a casual thing. He apparently told the LA Times he picked his house partly because he thought it'd be a great place to meditate.
Okay, so how does that connect to the work? I mean, TM, mindfulness. It's about training your mind for deep, relaxed awareness, right? For an artist juggling, say, a network sitcom schedule, indie film deadlines, and album releases, that practice translates into focus, into managing creative stress, into maybe accessing emotional depth more easily.
It's like the quiet engine powering this huge, diverse creative machine.
That's a good way to put it. It provides the internal structure, maybe.
Yeah.
And you see that search for meaning reflected in his artistic tastes, too.
Like his connection with the band Cloud Cult. He's not just a fan.
No, he collaborated with them. On their 2016 film, The Seeker, he's an executive producer and even acted in it, played the role of father.
And he had this great quote about why their music resonated with him. He said something like,
"What's true for me about a lot of music, but especially true for Cloud Cult's music, is that it stirs up the thing that's already in you and calls it out."
Stirs up the thing that's already in you. That feels like the mission statement for his own indie films.
Absolutely.
Right.
Liberal arts, happy, thank you, more please. They're not just trying to entertain you passively.
Yeah.
They want to spark something inside you, make you think, reflect, which is exactly what the best drama, the kind he trained in, aims to do.
So the art is a tool for exploring these big human questions. which connects his films, his stage work, even his own thoughtful solo music.
Yeah, it demands you look inward. It's all very humanistic,
And then finally, there's a personal life detail that got some attention recently, his marriage.
right? He married Jordana J. Jacobs, who's a clinical psychologist, on January 6th, 2024.
And the New York Times covered it, describing the wedding as cosmic and divine.
And they specifically mentioned it followed a psychedelic trip.
Which, while personal, does feel kind of characteristic. For an artist who seems constantly searching for deeper experiences, for meaning beyond the ordinary.
It fits the pattern, doesn't it? The
Yeah.
mindfulness, the introspective art, the willingness to explore consciousness. It all points to a life really driven by seeking authentic, profound experience.
And then channeling that seeking into his creative work. Hashtag outro. So wrapping this up, this deep dive really confirms that you just can't boil Josh Radnor's career down to Ted Mosby. The source material shows someone much more complex.
Yeah, the story isn't actor diversifies. It's more like rigorously trained writer, director, musician started with a huge acting gig.
Right, which then funded and amplified everything else. His foundation is clearly that serious academic stage background. You see it in his early roles, and you see it now with his return to plays like The Ally.
And there's that common thread running through almost everything. His films questioning things, his dramatic TV roles, his contemplative music.
It all seems to be grappling with, what? Adult uncertainty, how to live authentically. It connects the dots right back to even the searching architect character, in a way.
And remember that Cloud Cult quote
Mm-hmm.
about art stirring things up inside you.
Mm-hmm.
Based on everything we've seen, his own work exploring identity, faith, memory, consciousness, his meditative practice, what's the big question he keeps asking? Is it just that simple or that complicated?
Yeah.
How do we live a meaningful life?
And if that is the question, how does a sci-fi thriller like The Leaves fit in? How does he take that introspective human focus and apply it to, the cosmos? Big genre filmmaking.
That's the fascinating next chapter, isn't it? What answers or maybe what new questions will that project bring up? Definitely something for you, the listener, to think about as you check out his wider work.
A truly multifaceted career that, definitely rewards a closer look.
Absolutely. Much more than meets the eye.
Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the source material on Josh Radnor. We'll see you next time.